So I'm here at CPAC 2018, and Ben Shapiro spoke today. And would you believe it? There weren't riots. Nobody in the audience died from fright. People didn't go screaming from the building. Everything was fine. There was an exchange of ideas. But that isn't so on campuses like UC Berkeley, where groups like YAF, Young America's Foundation, have set up speeches for Ben Shapiro that have devolved into insanity from the left. Joining me now is Spencer Brown, spokesman for YAF. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, like I said, we were here, Ben Shapiro spoke, interesting speech. We're fine.
Yeah, you know,
everything's okay.
It's amazing, you know, when people actually are open to hearing different ideas, everybody survives every time.
So let me ask you a question, though. I mean, clearly, these people on college campuses were not really afraid of Ben Shapiro. They're not really afraid of Young America's Foundation. They just like to act like whiny babies and claim they are to get attention. I've watched how you produce your events. I've watched you guys go through all of the proper channels, spend big money on security, and still you're shut down.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous the lengths that schools will go to today in order to shut down a conservative. You know, sometimes they shove people like Ben Shapiro to remote parts of campus. Sometimes they put a curfew on them and say they can't speak, you know, after 3 p.m. or something like that. And it's really ridiculous. Sometimes the school will offer counseling and safe spaces and coloring pages and bring in outside counselors to try to help them. And it's basically just all to the end of trying to prevent conservatives from having a voice on their campus.
Now, I'm glad you're here because I always wanted to know the inside baseball. So we don't have to go through the intricacies of exactly what their emails or communications say, but you know what we read, what we're told is that they'll tell you, okay, hey, YAF, you've got Ben Shapiro or Ann Coulter or Gavin McInnes or anybody who's controversial, they're coming to speak. Great, I find all these people very interesting. We want to hear them. And apparently what we're told is they communicate with you and they tell you, we're good to go. And then at the 11th hour, it seems to me anyway, they pull the rug out from under you and make up some ridiculous excuse as to why you can't be there, when we all know that it's because you're booking conservative guests.
No, that's exactly right. And what we see them continually do is come up with excuses that just sort of compound themselves, but are continually disproved by their actions. I think the best way to look at this is at UC Berkeley when Ben Shapiro spoke there. You know, we're suing UC Berkeley now because of their actions, but they initially said they had no room available for Ben. Then magically, after we announced to the press that Berkeley somehow in all of its campus has no room, they found a room just like that. It's amazing. And then they gave us this venue, and then they said, oh, we're going to limit it to only the lower level. So the top 2 floors you can't use because somebody might throw a chair or throw themselves from the balcony because a conservative speaks. Then literally at the 11th hour, they announced that tickets were going to have to be picked up the day before somewhere on the other side of campus, and then they wouldn't release tickets that were unclaimed to standby line. So basically they did everything they could to prevent people from actually getting to hear Ben Shapiro.
It's like hosting the Daytona 500, then putting speed bumps every 15 feet.
Exactly. And then just taking the first car out and saying, it's over.
I mean, it's really unbelievable. But is it accurate? Are they really throwing this? Did they tell you you can be there, and that they're really throwing this many speed bumps?
Yeah, exactly. We see this. Ben Shapiro is scheduled to speak at the University of Minnesota this Monday.
Right.
And it's the same thing with that school, where they're putting all these security restrictions on it, saying you can't speak on the main part of our campus because there's skyways and tunnels. But then just recently, they went ahead and approved a counter event to Ben Shapiro's lecture in the middle of campus, just steps from where the conservatives were told it's not safe for Ben Shapiro to speak. So again, their excuses, you just can't even believe them.
You know, I know Ben. We're not good friends. I know Ben through the business. He's a good guy. I don't find Ben Shapiro scary.
No.
He's an interesting guy. He's a brilliant guy. I've never heard, I tweeted this, and it got a lot of traction. Ben Shapiro's never hurt anybody. Young America's Foundation's never hurt anybody.
Absolutely not.
You've never threatened anybody. He's never threatened anybody. You've never insinuated violence against anybody, nor has Ben Shapiro or Gavin McInnes and Coulter. But again, it's all figurative. She doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
And still, we can have, we see left-wing teachers and professors take plastic guns and shoot images of President Trump, videos screaming, kill, 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 and that's okay. That's apparently okay because that's academia.
Exactly.
It's unreal.
It's been crazy to see, actually, just our events before and after Trump's election. The opposition to our events, as far as administrators trying to shut it down or protesters trying to silence our speakers, that number tripled after the election. And so you see this Trump derangement system, as a lot of people call it, where they're just saying they can't handle it. So what they do is they just lash out, they get violent, they try to shut it down anyway. The universities seem to be buying into this. And it all amounts to basically unconstitutional hecklers' vetoes on conservative speakers.
You know what I love about this, though? We've got to learn how to make lemonade out of lemons on the right. Let's stick all these people on those mental health watch lists to avoid buying guns. They're doing our job for us.
We've seen a lot of unhinged, I think is a good word, leftists on these campuses. And
it is unhinged. You know what? That's not hyperbole. That's a fair choice of words.
Absolutely.
For the behavior, Spencer. It really is. It really is. Anyway, Spencer, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad I got to talk to you.
Absolutely.
I wanted to talk to YAF for a long time.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure. For all of your CPAC 2018 coverage, stay tuned to The Rebel, and don't forget to subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows, and go to your app store, check out the Rebel app.